welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I'm doing very well, partly because I've got a top on that is covered in pasta shapes. David got me this as my Valentine's Day present, and I love him. This is so lovely, isn't it? I keep thinking about pasta every time I wear it. Today's video is, well, it's how I do my New Year's resolutions. So, as I say, I'm always a big fan of January. In fact, you can't stop me from saying that. I feel like I say that every single video. I like new starts, I like new beginnings, I like new lists, etc, etc. But the past few years, I've been doing it so that I plan my New Year's resolutions so that they're ready for March. March is the third year in the month, so we get 10 months to sort of, after I've had a 2-month think about what my resolutions might be, 10 months from March onwards to complete 10 things. So the past few years I've picked 10 things that I want to do, or resolutions and things like that, and then announce them, because it's something even real if you don't put it on the internet, in March, and shared them with you guys, and then hoped to complete them by the end of the year. So last year I did 3.5 things off of my list. This year I've done 5 things plus 2 half things, so in total that adds up to 6 things. So I'm feeling quite pleased with myself. I will link the video down below if you'd like to go and check out my last year's 10 resolutions or 10 goals for 10 months video, but we're about to go through them here, so don't feel like you have to. So the first thing I wanted to do last year was learn more French. Now the ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal wasn't set for last year, is to read a book in French, and I was using Duolingo, which is an app where you can learn sort of conversational French and all other bits of French, and also listening to a French podcast which had a daily sort of little chatty thing about something that might have been in the news or something. I haven't listened to that podcast for a long time, so much so that it's disappeared from my podcast app, I've just realised. But Duolingo I've recently started up again, and in terms of measuring this, I guess learn more French, when I came back to Duolingo this year, I knew a lot more French than I did last year. So yeah, I guess I have passed that. I'm still nowhere near reading a book in French, but spoiler alert, because towards the end of this video I'll talk about my 10 goals for this year, I have also added French to that, so that'll be ongoing. Number 2 was Cook My Way Through East, which is a cookbook by Mira Sodha. I enjoy cooking my way through a cookbook. It's something I used to do before I even started doing booktube, and it was a pleasure to sort of revisit that. Excuse me, residue of COVID, cough. And it was a pleasure to go back to doing that. And also, as part of the Reading Women Challenge last year, one of the prompts on that challenge was to read a book by a woman of colour. So I got this for Christmas from my sister, or maybe my birthday, a couple of years before, and always sort of like browsed through it and thought, oh bloody hell, that looks amazing, and then picked this book as the book that I would cook my way through. So there are 114 recipes in here, and I cooked 69 of them, which is 61% worth. So I'm feeling pretty pleased with myself. That counts to me as a pass, because not only did I sort of cook well over half, I also really familiarised myself with a lot of the stuff in here. So even stuff that I didn't cook, so for instance this winter pilau and stuff like that, I know what's in this book. Oh god, beetroot and yoghurt rice. I know what's in this book, so that if I'm ever looking for a sort of recipe, I'm very familiar with this book. So I will count that as a big fat tick. Highlights: sweetheart cabbage okonomiyaki, which was delicious. The thing that I made the most, and actually like made it so much, and my sister makes it so much, and it's just delicious, is this pumpkin malai curry. And actually the page itself is filthy because I've made it so much. Curry, so good. But also like really fun things. I liked all the salads. I love a salad. Tomato ponzu salad, that was really nice. Char grilled vegetable salad. So yeah, I'm very pleased with myself for doing that, so well done. The next one did not complete. That was complete Couch to 5k again. So in 2020, the year of the pandemic, I completed Couch to 5k, and I felt like I was absolutely on top of the world after completing Couch to 5k, and aimed to do it again last year. Started it a few times, never got, I don't think I ever got past week 6. A variety of reasons: time, injury, those 2 reasons mainly. I was going to put that on my resolutions again for this year, but I would just like to do it. I don't feel like I want to put it on the resolutions. I'd just like to sort of crack on with it, because truth be told, the Couch to 5k programme, which I very much enjoy, and if you're looking to get into running, highly recommend it. But by the end, when you're running for 30 minutes non-stop, I'm a bit bored with that. I like sort of like mixing it up, 12 minutes running, 3 minutes walking, 5 minutes running, like that sort of thing. So as it progresses, I feel less like I'm enjoying it as much, because I prefer a little bit of a stop and start. So yeah, but I will do that again this year, but it's not on my list, so I didn't complete that. Do some volunteer work was my next one. Tick, I did some volunteer work, but this is with a caveat, because I started volunteering for Cat Protection, which is a charity that runs in the UK, which looks out for the welfare of cats. It helps with rehoming cats, it helps with stray cats, it helps with collecting deceased cats, it helps with taking cats from people who are unable to look after their cats anymore. A lot of stuff to do with cats. So I'd already started the wheels of motion of volunteering for Cat Protection during 2019, but then the pandemic hit, etc, etc, things weren't moving. And then last year I got back in touch with them and said, look, I really would love to volunteer for you guys, is there any admin work I can do? So they put me forward for admin work. I have done no admin work. The sad thing, the fact of the matter is that the group, the volunteer work operates from a Facebook group where there's a whole group of women, well actually a whole group of lots of other people, but majority women who are in this Facebook group, and if there's something that needs doing, a cat that needs collecting, maybe a cat that needs a paper collar put on it to check that that is a cat that belongs to somebody, all of this sort of seems to happen between the hours of 9 till 5 Monday to Friday, which is when I'm at work. I have done a few things. I've done a bit of socialising, cuddling some kittens and things like that, which was super fun. Emptied the Cat Protection voluntary donations box that they have at the local Morrisons to where I am, but like sadly I'm just not as able to help out as much as I would like to. I've got some annual leave that I need to take before the end of the financial year. I'm going to put myself forward for any sort of jobs that come up in that time, but I mean, sod's law, that won't happen, will it? But as in like there won't be anything that needs doing. But yeah, so I am volunteering for Cat Protection. I haven't done as much as I'd like to, and it's not through any fault of my own really, it's just through not really being able to help when the jobs when people are asking things to do things. So we'll continue with that. Number 5 was dedicate 1 day per week purely to Lauren and the Book Stuff. This has not been done, however a sort of compromise has been made on this. So I used to work, I work full-time for the NHS, but I used to work a sort of compressed week where I'd get like a day off every other week, and that would be my booktube day, and I'd make videos and edit videos and think about videos and things like that. And since I've been doing this working from home and things like that, that's just not been possible. So what I've now decided to do, and I've only been doing since the beginning of this year, so this is why it's a sort of half tick mark, is that Thursday evenings are now my booktube time. So I start working, so I finish work at 4 o'clock on a Thursday, so by 5 o'clock I'm making videos, filming videos, editing videos, having a little think about other things, answering comments and things like that. So I've done that every Thursday so far, not including February because February was off, so I've done it 4 Thursdays. But yeah, feeling quite pleased with how that's going so far, and that means that I want to keep this sort of flow of making a video that's going up on a Thursday and a Sunday happening, and this Thursday evening seems to be working quite well for me. Also, if I ever take any time off of work, annual leave or whatever, I always try and fit a video in that time as well. So yeah, so I've given myself a half mark for that. Give blood was number 6, didn't give blood, can't get anything for that. Go to the cinema by myself was number 7, didn't go to the cinema by myself. I've really sort of reduced my going to the cinema and things like that. So going to the cinema by myself, which is something that David does regularly and very much enjoys, is something that I need to do. But again, I'm not going to put it on my list for next year, but I would just like to do that. Go to a museum. Now, I've given myself a big fat tick for this. However, the things that I'm counting as museums weren't particularly museums. They were both, the two things I can think of were castles, but very much of a museum sort of vibe. Lots of history and things to learn and things like that. So although it wasn't particularly a museum that I've been to 2 separate castles, and had a lovely time at both of those places. So yeah, I'm going to count that. Do some art, and that was obviously very vague. However, I did do a bit of art. I had grand designs, as I always do, to sort of investigate different types of art, go to an art museum and things like that. But the truth is, in the matter is I did some lovely drawings of food I used to like when I was little. So I really enjoyed doing this. Marmite, Heinz beans, home pride white wine, cream and cooking sauce, cinnamon grahams, pot noodle. Yeah, and I had a nice time sitting down and doing that. So I did do some art, and I will continue to be a bit more crafty in 2022. More on that later. And then the last one was get some better quality sleep. I'm giving myself a half mark for this because yes, there have been some times, and particularly at the moment, so I know this isn't in 2021, but like where I'm getting really good quality sleep. I've got a really good routine where me and David go to bed around 9:30, take a cup of tea to bed, I read for about an hour, he plays on his phone, we just sit there, it's lovely, and then I just fall off lovely listening to a really relaxing podcast. So my quality of sleep is better. That's not to say I didn't have literally nights of no sleep over Christmas like at various times during the year last year, so still working on a better quality of sleep, but that has definitely been happening. So those were last year's goals. This year's goals, very excited about all of this year's goals. The first goal, the big 2022 goal, which is already happening, is I want to do a low buy and a low spend year. Now there's going to be a whole video about this where I'm going to talk about what I'm doing for the low spend year, some tips that I've picked up, tips that I'd like to give you. I'd love for it to be an area where we can share tips in the comments and things like that. So that video I think will probably be the next, I haven't made it yet, I think it will probably be the video that will be going up after this video. So the main one is that I want to do a low buy or a low spend year, and the main thing I'm doing in terms of combating that is every time I see something that I think I might want or need, I put it on a list, and then at the end of the month or like payday or whatever, I buy something from that list. So that is mainly what I'm doing. So by the end of the year I should have 12 sort of items or 12 things that I've bought which have actually been very helpful to me, rather than just buying whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want. So yeah, that's that. Number 2 is I would like to do 1 craft project per month. So far we're doing very well. This was January's craft project. I got bought 5, well I thought it was 6, but I've just got them off the shelves and there is only 5 craft sets for Christmas, which are lovely things to do because they sort of keep on giving, don't they? So I thought, well, I'd do one rather than them just sit on the shelf and me not doing anything with them. I aim to do 1 a month. So this was my first one. David's sister bought me this crochet little plant set, which is very cute and normally lives up there on my shelf. So I'm very much enjoying that, and I did that all by myself. My mum had to help me a little bit with joining and starting off, but I mean, come on guys, for a first craft project, well done me. Then it's February when I'm filming this, and I am literally about to finish off this felting project that I've done. I've made a little, look at that! I've made a beehive out of felt. This was so easy and so much fun. I'm definitely going to be putting on like another felting kit, maybe on a Christmas list or a birthday list. And I've also made the little bees that will be attached. Here are the little buzz bumblebees that will be attached to here. They just need wings putting on them, and then they need to be attached to here. So yeah, very much enjoyed that as well. So all but done February. And then the other 3 I've got here that I can show you. These are from Lidl. They do amazing, Lidl or Aldi? Aldi, I think. Amazing craft kits. So a macrame or macrame. This makes, oh, this could actually count as 2 maybe, because this makes a wall hanger and a plant hanger. Maybe it'll count as 2, but that's got all of the stuff that is in there, which I'm very excited about. It actually says instruction booklet for 7 projects. So yes, maybe I'll make some more from off the back of that. My sister bought me that. She also got me this one, which she's also bought herself, and I think maybe we'll both start it together in March. And this is embroider your own t-shirt with a Monstera t-shirt, and that's very cute. That's got the t-shirt in there, the embroidery hoop, the threads and the needle and the instructions. So yeah, maybe me and my sister will do that together and then we can be the same. And then the last one is one that David bought me, and it's another embroidery. So yeah, maybe I will do that in March, and then I'll do the macrame in April, and then do this in May so I can separate the embroidery a bit. And this is an embroidery kit for a quote from the musical 6, which you might know that I like quite a lot. It says, "We're one of a kind, no category," and it's got lots of purple flowers on it. And then David also wrote on the back that we are going to see 6 the musical at Saturday 29th of January. Merry Christmas, Plop, love you, which was very exciting. So yeah, I went to see that as well. So yeah, and then as I said, I might I've got some origami as well, which I might count as like, if I get as far as this, like to continue doing craft projects. And then I've got some wool and things like that, so maybe by the end of the month I'd love to crochet a blanket. You know, those crochet blankets always remind me of like being ill at my nan's. She had one of those lovely crochet blankets. So yeah, so I think maybe as I get through my kits, maybe I'll start thinking about craft projects that I could do that aren't kit related. Yeah, so that's number 2. Number 3, as I said, is French. I would like to continue with my learning French with the ultimate goal in mind of reading a book in French. As I said, I've been doing a lot more Duolingo this year, which has been very enjoyable. I actually surprise myself every time I go on there at how much I do understand. But yeah, so I'm going to continue with that. I don't know how measurable that is. I don't know if this year will be the year that I read a book in French. Who knows? Number 4 is eat and cook more seasonally. This is something that I'm trying to this sort of like works towards a big ultimate trying to reduce my carbon footprint type thing. Something I am already doing for this is we get a box of veg delivered. Well, we used to get it every week, but we started getting it every other week because I wasn't being able to use it up all the time, from a local fruit and veg company called the Kent Veg Box, and it delivers you fruit and veg that is all within 50 miles of where they're based, and they're based in a place called Maidstone, which is in the same county that I live. And yeah, so I get a seasonal box of local fruit and veg, well, just veg, every month, because David wouldn't eat the fruit. I just know he wouldn't. He's very particular about his fruit. So I'm already doing something in terms of like eating quite seasonally with that, so I feel quite pleased about that. But I'd like to open that up a little bit more, yeah, and to cook and eat a bit more seasonally. But yeah, the actual veg box thing's working out really well for us. Number 5 is use the library much more. I'm already confident in saying that I've completed this already, because I've been using the library so much. 1 minute, I had to go and get these books, so this is just a fraction of the books that I've got out from the library at the moment, and this is 2, 4, 6, 8 books. But I've got so many books out from the library at the moment, and I've been using their reservations, which has been amazing. I've been trying to collect a lot of books that I think might be on the Women's Prize long list. Oh god, oh god, everything's gone to shit. But it's been absolutely amazing. I'm putting on loads and loads of reservations, and I can have 30 reservations on at a time and 30 books out from the library. So I've been really using the library loads, and I already feel quite confident in saying, if I was to measure if I've used the library enough this year, I would already say I have. But yeah, but using the library more definitely is something that I'm doing and looking forward to doing for the rest of the year. Now, something else which I haven't done any progress on at all, so is something I did last year, which I didn't log in my I didn't put as a resolution, but it was a project that David was doing, and I thought, well, that sounds really fun, I'd like to do that. And that's to watch 100 new to me films. Now you need, so you can watch other films that you've watched before, but the new to me films you need to have watched 100. Now I did manage this last year, and I made a video about it actually, which I really enjoyed making, where I sort of like worked through and worked out what my best films were, and etc, etc. So I will link that down below, and I plan to do it again this year. However, we're filming this at the end of February, I've watched no new to me films, like 0, none at all. I've watched one thing which can count as a film, which I watched last year and I loved, and that's James Acaster's stand-up show, Cold Lasagna Hate Myself 1999. So yeah, we're at the end of February, and I should have watched like 16 new to me films by now, and I've watched none. So I really need to pick up on that if that's going to be even half manageable. As I said, I did manage it last year, but yeah, watching films isn't something that comes naturally to me. I'm much more sort of like likely to pick up a book or to watch an episode of something, so I need to pull my finger out and start doing something about that. So yes, I will do that. Number 7 is sort out my underwear and my sock drawer. This is something that whenever I do, because I sort out my wardrobe seasonally, we've got a storage unit where we keep a lot of our stuff that isn't here in the flat with us, so I do a wardrobe sort out every year, and it's quite good with like keeping things ticking over, and oh, I haven't worn that, and if I don't wear that next year I'll sell it, etc, etc. But my pyjama drawer actually, so I could even add my pyjama drawer onto this, my socks and underwear and pyjama drawer never get a look in, never ever ever. And I've really got to the point now where the only socks that I wear are these socks from Thought, which I've got in different colours, bamboo socks, so I can chuck all my other socks away or recycle all my other socks. My underwear, I've got 3 amazing bras that I was fitted for last year that are the only bras that I'm ever going to need, so I need to get rid of all the ones that are just wasting space. My underwear, my knickers I need to sort out. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is next time I do a big sort out, then this has got to be top of my list of sorting these out, because they're just drawers that are falling apart. I actually need to get a new set of drawers, because that set of drawers I've had when I lived with my friend Neve, and that was like 13 years ago, and they've moved house with us like 8 times, and these things don't move. It was an IKEA set of drawers. They are falling to bits, so I'd like to buy a new set of drawers this year, and I'd like to not overfill them. So yeah, underwear, socks and pyjamas. Number 7 is, and this is also sort of towards my like carbon footprint, is that I'd like to wash my clothes and my sheets less. So I'm not talking about stinky old stuff that I've been running in, or socks or underwear and knickers and things like that. I'm talking about, do I need to wash my sheets every single week? Do I need to wash a top if I've worn it once and it doesn't smell? Do I need to wash a pair of dungarees that I've worn over the top of a top once and they don't smell? I need to have a little look at, rather than just taking something off at the end of the day and sticking it in the wash, thinking about whether or not that actually needs washing. And this is in order to, as I said, to reduce my carbon footprint, but also just to make clothes last a bit longer. If you're putting things through the washing machine all the time, they're not going to last as long as if they're not. So yeah, I'd be really grateful on tips for that. If anyone has sort of tips on how often you wash things, I'm going to do an Instagram story poll about this as well, to get an idea of how often you actually do need to wash things. But yeah, that's something that I would like to do. Number 9 is a reading resolution, which has already appeared in my reading resolutions video, but I'm very David just cutely ran over there, but I'm very excited about it, and we've already been doing it. So every month I would like to read aloud a book with David. So I love reading aloud, and David and I, like, David doesn't read, he does very well, but he always says he wants to read more. So I thought what we would do this year is every month we would both take it in turns to pick a book and then read a book aloud to each other. And that means reading 2 chapters a day, or not every day. I mean, we had a big space of time in February when one or the other of us had COVID and we didn't read it, but we've picked it back up again now, where we're reading books that we've picked. So in January I picked Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. In February we're currently reading Odd One Out by Nick Stone. We are having such a funny time reading this, because this is a YA book about young people, and they literally do never ever stop thinking about sex and boobs and tits and bums and things like that. And we've been having such a funny time reading out like these young people talking to each other when David and I are like sitting with a cup of tea on the sofa covered up in a blanket. But yeah, so David picked this book, and then next month is March, so it'll be an Irish book that I'm picking. I haven't decided which one yet, but yeah, we've been having a lovely time doing that. So that's something I would like to ensure happens throughout the year, and I can't see there being a reason that it won't happen, because David and I are having such a nice time with it. And then the last one, number 10, is that I would like to decorate our spare room. We've got a second bedroom which we basically use to dry washing. It's got a desk in there, a very small desk that my friend Emma gave us, which has been sort of like, it's done the job if in an emergency. So David, if he's got a meeting and I'm working at home, then he can go in there and do a meeting, but mainly we sit at the big table. So we're going to get ourselves a bigger desk so that we can use that more often. There's a single pull-out like day bed thing in there, which when we moved in we were like, oh, that'll be so great when people come to stay. We've used it twice the whole time we've been here, so we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to paint it and decorate it and just make it a bit more of a usable room. That's where those drawers that are falling apart are as well. So yeah, that's something that I would like to do this year as well. So there we go, a list of 10 goals, 10 things, resolutions that I'd like to get done this year, and just a little check-in on how I did last year. What are your goals this year, and how did you get on with your goals last year? Always interested to hear what people's goals are. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye.